Good evening, everyone. It is Thursday, December 7th, and welcome to FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Michael Anand.
And I'm meteorologist Jay Karstens, and we come to you with one of the coolest high temperatures we've recorded in Tallahassee in quite some time. That pattern that we began to see yesterday has really made its presence felt around the area today.
Yeah, we only had like a 5-degree temperature change today from 43 to 48. And in my opinion, as I've been saying these last few days, today was considered a raw kind of day.
Absolutely, and that's actually going to be the trend that we see for the next couple as well. Hopefully we'll start to see these rain showers beginning to move their way out of our picture, although it is some rain that we could use around town.
Yeah, and for tonight's show, it's a fire and ice situation still. We have fire out west in Southern California, and we are going to talk about some snow up in Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia for tomorrow.
Yeah, Brittany and I will have a little bit more about the wildfire situation coming up in just about a minute or so. But to get things started, we want to give you a quick little overview forecast for what's to come later on in the show. So we're going to go out to the wall with Victoria Nichols standing by.
Thank you, guys. All right, let's take a look at our weather headlines for tonight's show. So rain will be sticking around through Friday. It's going to clear up on Saturday afternoon though, but it's going to be very cool and a clear week ahead. But watch out for those rains tonight and tomorrow. All right, so looking at our 24-hour temperature change, we only had a 6-degree decrease in the temperature in Tallahassee, very higher down here. 10-degree decrease in Orlando because of that front just hitting that area. Looking at the satellite and the radar, we can see that we are sitting right in the middle of two cold fronts, one down here and one up here, bringing those very heavy rains, that red color heavy rains up here in Mississippi and Alabama, also going to hit Georgia. Looking at the weekend forecast tomorrow, again, 90% chance of rain, so bring an umbrella outside. It's going to clear up on Saturday and Sunday though. Very cold on Sunday with your low of 32 degrees. Now let's take it back to the desk with Jake and Brittany.
All right, thank you, Victoria. We have a little bit of course, somber news to report here as the wildfire situation out in Southern California really is not getting any better, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's really devastating news. I'm sure you guys have seen those pictures and videos online of just this really bad and intense wildfires spreading. There's actually 4 different fires.
Yeah, 116,000 acres have been burned so far as of this morning, actually, for those 4 largest that we're seeing. Over 200,000 people also have been evacuated from their homes. Some of the major highways in California really being affected by this.
Yeah, I know the 405, everyone traveling to work in the morning just has this huge view of the fires. And unfortunately, it is expected to worsen because of these Santa Ana winds that are going to pick up.
Yeah, very strong winds blowing in dry air from the deserts up to the north. So that combination of high wind, very, very dry air is favorable for the spread of these wildfires. So, of course, our thoughts and prayers are with all of you out there in California, and special thanks to all the first responders who are making the recovery effort as manageable as can be.
Yes.
So for now, we're going to shift back to a local focus here, starting off with a little recap of that 3-day forecast that Victoria just covered here. Again, when it comes to Friday, we're seeing those really strong chances of rain at about 90% here. And moving on into Saturday, we also see that with a high of 52 degrees. But now we'll shift to those current conditions. In Tallahassee, we're sitting at 47 degrees, a light rain falling. You see that dew point and the temperature very close together, of course, indicating that high humidity that we're seeing. The winds are out of the north, so bringing in even cooler air behind it, which is why our high did not even get to 50 degrees today, which is the first time in nearly a year around here. We look at the last 24 hours, and we start off last night with those temps in the low 50s, the beginning of that cooling trend, and we kind of go down the stairs here a little bit, getting down into those lower 40s as we woke up this morning. And not really too much of a climb from there, getting to about 48 degrees for our daytime high here, which is, again, the coolest we've had in town since January 8th, almost a year ago. The radar, not really too much going on around Tallahassee right now, just some light to moderate showers. The heavier rain is currently off to our northwest. As has been alluded to, we're kind of sandwiched in between a couple of cold fronts. So a consistent banding structure has been kind of seen with a lot of this, and even some snow up to the north. If you go up towards, say, northwestern Mississippi towards the Tupelo area, you have to go anywhere really north of Jackson to see anything like that. Those temperatures, 40s pretty much anywhere behind the cold front right now. 49 Valdosta, 48 degrees in Albany, and 43 as you go to the northwest over in Montgomery, where we could start to see some of that snowfall action beginning tonight. The temperature change showing you the strength of that cold front down in north central Florida now as it's moved beyond our area yesterday, so not really too much of a difference anymore around here compared to this time 24 hours ago. We look at the evening planner for tonight, and it's a very stagnant pattern. Rain chances sticking around with those temperatures in the mid to upper 40s as we go from end of the show at 7 o'clock all the way through midnight tonight. A pretty bleak night is in our forecast, as well as the day tomorrow. 47 degrees for your afternoon high here, so even lower than what we've seen today. A 90% chance of rain, going to be pretty consistent. And that wind chill going to be making it feel even colder outside. So, of course, Michael and I are crazy enough to actually go out and play golf in this stuff. We look at the weather pattern of what we're going to be seeing for the next few days here. That second cold front is going to be on its way, so starting to push more of that heavier rain down our way, which is why we're seeing it. A pretty nasty situation looking for tomorrow, as well as some of the snow moving into Alabama and Georgia as well. And here's that 5-day forecast to wrap things up. Rain chances begin to go away Saturday afternoon down to 20% before a little bit of a warming trend works its way back in Sunday through Tuesday. But now to broaden things out to the southeast, we got Sammy.
Tallahassee being 47 degrees all the way to Miami and Key West being around 78, 79 degrees. Now, this is where you could see that varying of the two fronts, where the green portion is kind of those warmer temperatures, and then this will be the second front coming throughout the southeast. Now, Tallahassee may be pretty dry right now, but there are a little bit more rain chances coming our way throughout the next few hours and overnight couple hours as well. Savannah, Atlanta, and Georgia, they are starting to see some of that rain passing through their way as well. But mostly everyone has some chances of rain these next few days. Tallahassee and Orlando, you are seeing those big temperature changes to that front that just passed through, whereas Montgomery, Atlanta, they're a little bit warmer actually. Little Rock is where that temperature is less due to that front passing through their area coming into our way as well. The dew point is showing pretty moist throughout most of Florida, and then not as much throughout the western portion. But as you can see by this graphic, that humidity and dryness is actually starting to come down through our way and starts to come through associated with that other front. And as well, we could see these watches and warnings consist of a winter warning advisory and winter watch warning throughout Alabama, going into parts of the coast where you are seeing some small craft advisory. So pretty snowy throughout more of the east, but we will be seeing some more precipitation. And to wrap up with tonight's forecast, you are going to be seeing some colder temperatures throughout most of the southeast. 45 in Tallahassee, Montgomery, Alabama, 37, pretty chilly, all the way into throughout most of Florida. It's going to start warming up a bit. But now we are going to take it to the lab.
All right, thanks a lot, Sammy. We're here in the lab to talk a little bit more about this wintry weather situation and why us here in Tallahassee shouldn't really expect to see any of that working its way into our picture. So we're going to start off with a look at the North American Mesoscale, the NAM model, which is one of our finer resolution pieces here and showing the evolution over the next few days or so. This is as of tomorrow morning what the forecast is looking like. This very well-defined line of rain and snow moving through Louisiana all the way up through Georgia. So, of course, Michael's domain of Atlanta might be getting in on a little bit of the snowfall action. We worked this forecast through, and we want to see how this line between rain and snow really evolves through the day Friday and into Saturday as well. And you see it begin to dissipate a little bit. Some of that moisture, that energy we have behind the cold front dissipating as it tries to move its way in towards the Tallahassee area. So when we get things going about 9 a.m. tomorrow, we see just a little tiny pocket of potential snowfall forecasted over the northwestern part of the state. If you go more towards, say, the Crestview area, about Walton County or so. So what I wanted to go in is, and by the way, thanks to Levi for all of his amazing products he's putting out on tropicaltidbits.com. Strongly recommend if you're a weather weenie like all of us around here. What we're going to do is go into the soundings here. What this shows is the forecasted vertical profile of the atmosphere. And this is, again, as of 9 a.m. for us here right around Tallahassee. So it's currently forecasting, you can't really see it here, but a temperature of about 40 degrees or so. And the reason that we're not able to see any of this wintry precipitation is right here. You see this little red line moving up to the, over to the right as you go up with height, meaning the temperature is actually increasing. And the reason for that is actually the cold front. And I'll show you this little schematic here with the whiteboard to show you just why. So you see this, we're moving from west to east here, where this is height on our sort of vertical axis, showing the westward tilt of the cold front with height. So what we actually can have is if we go straight upwards, we go from a region of colder air to a region of warmer air, which eliminates the chance for any kind of snowfall, freezing rain, or sleet production here around Tallahassee. So that's why we really shouldn't expect to see any of that, maybe just a cold rain as we work through the night on Friday. So now we're going to take things back to the wall where Brittany's standing by with a national look.
Thank you, Jake. Let's take a look at the whole country and what they're currently at. You can see a majority of the country is at some pretty cold temperatures. We're at 17 degrees in Minneapolis, 36 in Albuquerque, and San Francisco pretty warm at 60, especially compared to the rest of the country. In Tallahassee, we're at 47, and that oddball sticking out is Miami. We're at 78 down there. Now, the main part of this front right now that we're talking about is the snow it's bringing to southern Texas and even northern Mexico. And you can see the bulk of that snow is really sticking more inland. We have some more of just rainy conditions over towards the coast, and they definitely have some winter advisories over there currently. Moving up, we're seeing that lake effect snow off the Great Lakes. You can see everything to the east of the lakes is receiving that snow all the way down, and it even goes over to New York. Buffalo experiencing some snow right now. So winter is finally here for some parts of the countries. Now looking at where the cold fronts are, you can see this first one that passed by us the other day, it's stationary. That means it's just hanging out. A lot of that rain is associated with that. You can see the bulk of the rain is in between these two fronts. This is the second front that is going to make its way through. And once that comes through, you'll see in our 7-day that it is going to bring sunny skies finally. And this couple days of rain will eventually leave us. Looking at the current dew points, you can see most of the country is very dry because of those two cold fronts that push through. Now this fine line here between the kind of okay dew points and the very, very low dew points, you can see that second front is clearly right there. And we're pretty dry. 20 in Billings, 4 in Kansas City, and you can see Miami is still pretty humid down there at 74. Looking at the 24-hour change, this you could definitely see where the fronts are. Down in Florida, you can see that bluish color that indicates that we went down in temperature, and you can see that the first cold front's around here. Then we start to get this warming trend because that first front has passed through, so it's given some time to warm up, and then you can see that second front is really making a difference. We're down 16 degrees in Dallas, Texas than we were yesterday. Looking at that water vapor, you can see the bulk of the moisture is where all that rain is coming down in Florida, Alabama, Louisiana, and even in Texas. You can see a lot of that moisture over there also. Watches and warnings, we got some winter weather advisories, winter weather watches, stretching from North Carolina almost down to the Gulf Coast, down in New Orleans, and we have some freeze watches in Texas. And looking at the SPC outlook, you can see there is a marginal risk of some isolated severe storms. So if you are coming home, just be careful and when you're driving home. But for now, we're going to send it over to Michael to talk about what you got for us, Michael.
Yeah, we're going to talk about State of the Week, which this week is Idaho. And let's, once we get to that graphic, we're going to look at the current conditions. And you'll see in Idaho, most of it it's actually very cold in Idaho. There we go. Actually, let's look at the radar first. Pretty clear across the entire state. A few clouds creeping in the southern portion of the state. But overall, the conditions are looking pretty okay. And now, as we going? Yeah, there we go. There's the temperatures, and there's the dew point. You can see lower dew points in the higher elevations in Salmon. And then Coeur d'Alene, home of the floating green, the dew point's at 25 degrees. And as we go, yeah, there's the futurecast showing no cloud cover really anywhere. And you can see another front coming into the northwest, but that won't reach Idaho until early next week. And as we look into the cities, you can see in Boise, since they're in a valley, they're going to get fog in the morning. So 34 degrees in the morning and during the afternoon, and teens overnight. And as we go into Twins Fall, similar thing, 30s during the afternoon hours and teens overnight. Now let's send it off to the lab we're going to send it off to Victoria, actually. What do you have for us, Victoria?
All right, let's take a look at the local temperatures again. Currently, we're sitting at 48 degrees in Tallahassee. Today was a cold one. A little bit warmer down here in Orlando, sitting at 70 degrees. 78 in Tampa, very warm. If you want to escape the cold, drive down there. Looking at the satellite, we see all of these rains and clouds moving into Florida and the Big Bend area. We're sitting right in the middle of that rain. Sorry. And we see more rain up here in the Mississippi and Alabama area, getting hit really hard with those thunderstorms. Currently, it's 47 in Tallahassee. Similar conditions all across the Big Bend and up here in Georgia and Alabama. On the coast in Panama City, 48, 47 in Pensacola. Again, warmer down here in Tampa and Orlando. All right, futurecast temperatures. We don't see much of a change here in Tallahassee, only a few degrees cooler. A little bit cooler here on the coast in Panama City at 39 degrees. Getting cooler here too in Pensacola, 38 degrees. Getting a little bit cooler down here in Orlando and Tampa also because of that cold front rolling into South Florida. Currently our dew points, Tallahassee 46 degrees on the coast, 40 at Panama City, 37 in Pensacola. A little bit drier air up here because behind that cold front moving in, 37 in Meridian and 38 in Montgomery. Looking at our evening planner for tonight, those rains will be sticking around. It's going to stay in the mid to upper 40s, but it's going to rain all night. So if you go outside, bring your umbrella or rain jacket and make sure you bundle up because it's going to be very, very cool. Planning your day tomorrow. All right, it's going to be rainy when you wake up tomorrow. So again, wear a rain jacket, bring an umbrella outside. It's going to warm up just a little bit through the afternoon, but stay really rainy and cold with very little temperature change. All right, so this red line right here is our average high, which was 65 degrees for the last 7 days. And as you can see, this red line above the average high, we've had above highs over the last 7 days. And also the average low is this blue line down here, average low being 41 degrees. We've had conditions above that line, above the average for the last 7 days. The week ahead though, we have temperatures in the highs below that average and temperatures in the lows below that average too, so it's going to stay very, very cool for the week ahead. And now let's take it back to the lab with Sammy.
Okay, thank you, Victoria. So you talked about some cooler temperatures, and with those cooler temperatures is wind chill. Now, what is wind chill? Well, wind chill is how cold it feels when the winds are blowing. It's actually the opposite of heat index, if you could think about it like that. And it's important to know for hypothermia and frostbite, especially into those very colder temperatures, which we are not quite experiencing, but we are seeing an effect of wind chill. So these are the winds from earlier today. So you can see not too much, but it is something to make an effect. Those 8, 9, 15 over on the coast, those are higher wind temperature or wind miles per hour and associated with those temperatures is going to bring a factor of wind chill. So these are the temperatures versus the temperatures with wind chill. So we have a few outliers, but these are the big numbers to look at. So we're looking at 46 and 39. So this is the wind chill, and it makes it a lot colder, and it makes it feel a lot colder effects. And this is our wind chill chart. This is the full chart, but if we crop it out to see what we can be experiencing, we're seeing some temperatures around 36 with wind around 5-10 miles per hour. So that makes it feel like it's 36 when it's actually 40 degrees outside. And also, you could check the NWS wind chill calculator if you want to see what the actual temperature is and to play around with that wind chill number. But now we are going to take it back out to Brittany with the outdoors.
Thank you, Sammy. Let's take a look at some Thursday night football. The Saints at the Falcons. Now, the good thing about this Thursday night football is Chick-fil-A is open. There is a Chick-fil-A in the stadium, so that will be open. The game is at 8:25. It is their color rush game. 60% chance of rain and 42 degrees is the temperature. Not so much of tailgating weather, but overall it should be a good game. Now looking at some FSU events, FSU Winterland. This is just a nice kind of fun carnival festival kind of thing. There'll be a bounce house, hot chocolate, some holiday treats. This is Friday 7 to 11 at the Union Green. It is free for everyone. You don't have to be an FSU student to go like hang out and everything. 80% chance of rain though, so bring some rain jackets, bring an umbrella. 41 degrees, make sure you're bundled up. It should still be a pretty fun event. Now looking into FSU men's basketball, this game is actually going to be played in Tampa, Florida at the Emily Arena Sunday at 12 p.m. FSU versus Tulane. 57 degrees will be that high temperature. It is an inside arena, but it should be a nice walk to the game if you're parking pretty far. I know parking gets a little crazy in downtown Tampa. It's a neutral site game, so FSU's not from there, Tulane's not from there. So it's just a nice friendly match over there. Moving into FSU women's basketball, Sunday at 2 p.m. FSU versus Arizona State. Finally, we see some sunshine. The rain will move away out of our area at the Donald Tucker Center. It's 53 degrees as that temperature. Winds coming out of the north-northwest at 5 miles per hour. So again, a nice walk to the game if you're walking over there for that game. Looking at the Nickelodeon Finals Week, this is kind of a stress relief kind of event taking place at the Duroc Science Library, Sunday to 6 to 8 p.m. Not so baby building blocks. You'll be able to build a Lego Reptar. So 47 degrees is that temperature, so when you're walking to Duroc to start studying for finals, it will be a pretty chilly night. And a therapy dog event, my kind of event, Monday 2 to 4. The Tallahassee Memorial Hospital will be holding an event at the ACLC, and that high will be 59 degrees. And taking a look at the week ahead, the golf index, awful golf index. I know Jake said he's still going, Mike's still going. They're going to enjoy that golf weather. Hopefully they're bundled up and it's cold, but for now, we're going to send it over to Michael. What do you have for us, Michael?
Yeah, so here's a look at the 5-day forecast. You can see the rain, that's due to that front, and it will clear out by Saturday. So as we go into our almanac, you can see, as we were talking about, there was only a 5-degree change in our temperature. We went from 43 this morning to 48 due to all that cloud cover and rain, well below our average of 67 degrees. Now, as we go into our current conditions, you can see it is 47 degrees right now, and we're reporting light rain at the airport. Humidity is really high at 97%, and that north wind is the reason why it's so cool. The temperatures across the region range from 51 down here in Perry to the middle 60s, 46 in Wilma. It's been one of those raw kind of days in my opinion. Now the satellite and radar does show you we have the first round of rain moving through this morning. Now we're in a little bit of a lull, but as you see the radar move through, you'll see there's more rain up to the north and the west. So that's going to come to us later tonight into tomorrow. Now the dew points, yes, these are low, like 45, 46 is pretty comfortable when it's actually dry outside. But when you're having rain and it's 47 degrees, it feels raw and gross outside. And for tonight, it is going to be 45, not much of a temperature change due to the cloud cover and rain. And for tomorrow, similar type of story, as our high will be at 47 degrees. You can see that 45 at 8 a.m. and 47 at 4 p.m. Not much of a change. And since Jake and I are going to go out to the golf course tomorrow, we're going to call this British type of weather, in my opinion. Now, let's look at these two fronts. We had the first front give us the cooler type of weather and rain. This second front is actually interesting. As we advance the graphic, you can see the front starts to move south, and with that cold air clashing with the moisture, you're going to get some snow up in northern Mississippi, central Alabama, and in the Atlanta metro area. Here in Tallahassee, we're only expecting rain. Maybe some sleet could mix in. That's about the most I expect. Now by Saturday morning, that front will clear our area, and it will be sunny by Saturday afternoon. So it's going to be really nice on Saturday later in the day, and by Sunday, it's probably going to be the best day of these last few days in terms of weather. It's going to be in the 50s and sunny. Now as we go into our 7-day outlook, you will see the Friday will be the 90% chance of rain. Very gross outside. Saturday will clear out, and then we'll beginning a warming trend going into those upper 50s to near 60 by later in the weekend into next week. Now let's send it back up to the desk to wrap up the show.
Thank you, Michael. So this is actually our last Thursday show for a while.
Very sad.
Yeah, tomorrow will be our last regular show on WFSU until the next year. But we are actually not going to be having many shows for a while.
We'll let you know on Twitter and social media when the show will be returning next semester.
We will also be providing updates still on Twitter, which is cool. We are upgrading our graphic system, so that's why we are going to have kind of a halt on the show for a little bit. But we will return in the spring semester sometime. But let's take a look at those next 7 days to come.
Wow, look at tomorrow. It is going to be really, really rainy. Make sure you bring an umbrella outside if you're walking to class or the library.
I mean, I don't know if I don't really want to go to class tomorrow looking at those conditions, but hey, it's the last day of class of the semester other than finals.
It looks like it's going to clear up though on Sunday and Monday, but look at that low on Monday, 29 degrees.
Ooh, it's
I wouldn't be
chilly.
surprised if we didn't see any frost or anything.
But make sure you follow us on twitter.com/FSU weather,
Like us on Facebook.
/FSU weather, and watch us live on YouTube, which you're hopefully doing right now because that's always available.
Also follow us on Instagram at FSU Weather.
We will be providing updates on all of our social media, so hopefully some weather updates to come with that. But with that being said, I'm student meteorologist Sammy Squires.
I'm student meteorologist Victoria Nichols, and have a good day.